punt. And it's a line drive. J.J. Jones on the 42. Sidesteps 50, 45, 40, 35. Needs a block. Sprints between two. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. J.J. Jones, Janardrian. Runs it 58 yards, and the Wolves, I don't see a flag, have now blown it open 34-7.
And good evening. West Georgia with a victory in here tonight. I want to welcome you to the David Dean Postgame Report. Also, we'll check with a couple of the Wolves players in here tonight. I want to thank you to SMI Systems and Methods Incorporated. They bring this to you post-game each week after Wolves home ball games. And Coach David Dean, always fun to get to come in here after a win tonight. It wasn't always easy, but 45-7, and you came out a different team, I thought, in the second half.
Yes, we did. I was proud of the way our guys responded in the second half. You know, we did some things well in the first half, but I think we left some points out there on the field. I think we gave up some plays on defense that we don't normally do. So really, really proud of the way we responded in the second half, especially defensively. I thought we really did a great job of shutting them down in the second half, and obviously holding them to no points was big.
Late in the first half, you got the score right late. Williams on the touchdown catch from Willie. You got the second half kickoff, and bam, it was Willie to Williams one more time, and then you had the kick return. It was bam, 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 and it was over.
Yeah, it was. I challenged our guys to come out to start the second half, and let's put together a drive and score and go up 28-7. And and they did that. And an excellent job. And we finally got a great punt return, great blocking in that. It was good to see us finally get a very good special team play in there. We're still struggling in that aspect and got to improve on that. But overall, the effort of our guys, we played 4 quarters, which is something that we didn't do in the first game, which I was proud to see. Our effort is there. And, we're seeing a lot of good things, still things that we need to improve on. But I think we're beginning to come together as a football team.
I thought your defensive front was very good and controlled them tonight all the way across, both inside and outside.
No question. Our defensive front, when you watched them last week on film, they did not give up a lot of pressure on their quarterback to a very good Alcorn team. And our defensive front put pressure on the quarterback all night. You could see him scrambling. He was having to get out of the pocket. We did a great job of containing him a lot in the second half, forcing him to step up and then making the sacks. And a lot of that goes into the secondary, too, with great coverage. But if you're a quarterback and you're constantly under pressure, you're beginning to think about that, and I think that's what our front did tonight.
That made it very good in the victory. West Georgia with the W, 45-7 over the Golden Bears from Miles. And we'll open it to any questions from our media members for Coach David Dean following the victory tonight. And Nick, we'll start with you.
Coach, another good day for you guys offensively, 248 yards on the ground, 242 through the air. How do you like the almost perfect balance in these first 2 games?
Love it, love it. You know, I don't want to be one-dimensional. There's going to be times where we're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more than we probably want to, and maybe run the ball a little bit more than we want to. But as long as we can continue this balance, I think it puts defenses in situations that they have a hard time defending us. And credit to our players. They executed our game plan exactly the way we wanted to. We got off to a little bit of a slow start again offensively, but they picked it up. And really proud to see that. And I think they're doing a great job of executing what we're asking them to do.
Okay, move it over here.
Hi, Coach Dean. Nick from the Wolf Sports. I was wondering, was taking Willie out after he was hit with that head-to-head contact, was that just precautionary, or is there something a little bit more into that?
No, he's fine. It was just more precautionary. At that time, we had we had the game pretty much under control, and he just got dinged up a little bit, so we pulled him out and put Tyler in there. And I think we went down and scored right after that, and there was really no need to put him back in there after he got dinged up. He'll be fine. He could have gone back in the game if it had been a close game and we needed him.
Okay. Next up, what's next for Coach Dean, please? Okay. Move the microphone right here.
Hey, Coach Dean. Great job tonight the past 2 weeks on the defensive side of the ball. So with the first away game at Delta State next week, scoring 34 points last week and 42 today, what kind of changes, if any, on the defensive side of the ball can we see?
Well, our defense is playing really, really well right now. And, I know our defensive staff's going to put together a great game plan against a very good offensive unit. Obviously Delta's going to be different than Miles, and they're going to be different than Fort Valley. So we're going to have to watch film. We're going to have to make adjustments to things. Delta's going to try and take advantage of some things that we have not been doing well defensively, so we're going to have to make those corrections. But I feel good about what our guys have been doing defensively. If you hold a unit like that to under 200 yards, that says a great deal about that defense.
Good show right there.
Coach Dean, this past week you've been emphasizing finishing the game. You know, you said last week you wish your defense would have finished a little bit better. You know, not allowing any points after that first half. How happy are you with how your team finished today?
Extremely happy, and I told them that in the locker room. We played 4 quarters, and we're going to have to continue to do that. We're still not playing great special teams like I want us to, but the offense and defense is coming around. But we did finish. We played hard from the opening whistle to the final horn. And if we can continue to do that and also stay healthy, we got a chance to make some noise in the things that we're doing.
Coach, we'll have you back up here in just a moment to talk some more. But before, a little bit about the 2 guys that we have here tonight. Thoughts on the job they gave you here?
Well, I saw Cordero in the backfield a lot, and he was a big piece of what we were doing, putting pressure on the quarterback. And he's been one of those guys we weren't real sure he was going to be able to play. He had some ankle injuries through the week. He toughed it out, got his treatment, and was, we need him to play. He's a great player, and he's a great leader for us up front. So I was proud, number one, to be able to see him get out there on the field. And then Amani, I have the pleasure of coaching him every day. He's in the meetings with me every day, and we knew going into this game that we were going to isolate him up a little bit, and he took advantage of those situations and made great plays. Almost had a 3rd touchdown, but I can't say enough about the way that he is playing right now. Both of those guys, they exemplify what West Georgia football is all about, and proud that we have them on this football team.
Thank you, Coach Dean. We'll have Coach Dean back up here in a moment. We get Amani Williams up here to join us right now. Our post-game report with Coach David Dean, Wolves football, and Southern Systems and Methods Incorporated. SMI brings this to you week in and week out. And, of course, you got the numbers in front of you. We talked here before, Amani, before we got started. 2 big scores tonight and contrasting plays, but you came real close to a hat trick tonight.
I tried, but, it hit my hands. I should have caught it, but I'm just grateful it happened.
Well, what opened up for you tonight as far as what made it a good night for you and made it a good night for the passing game? We talked about Willie Candler, over 200 quarterback rating. A lot was going well tonight.
Yes, sir, especially with the up front, the offense. The offensive line does a great job every week in and out of practice and meetings. And then I'm thankful that Willie has the confidence in me to catch it, so he just do it. And
when we run the ball, it seems to open it up for that passing game, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Sounds great. Guys, question for Amani Williams while you're here? We'll start over here from the right to the left. We'll wolf it up first.
Amani, great game tonight. How much has the chemistry between you and Willie Candler came along from, this last season to now?
Willie's a great quarterback. We just gained chemistry with routes on there during practice, doing the little things after practice. He's a great quarterback. That's all I can say.
Okay. Anything else for Amani before we look? Matt, over the corner.
Imani, talk a little bit about moving without the ball, because it was obvious that it wasn't the original route on that first touchdown, that going towards the corner. Talk about what you saw and what happened on that play.
Well, originally I ran an out route and ended up in the back corner. I saw him scramble, so I just mirrored him the whole time, and he just threw it and trusted me.
Seemed to work out very well for us in this one as well. It seemed to be getting a little chippy on the field at times tonight. We try to stay above that fray. How did that go out there a little bit?
There's at times that happens, but
it's called football, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's called football. It happens.
Good deal there. Amani, want to thank you. Anything else for Amani before we let him go? Okay, appreciate you being with us. And we got Amani Williams, youngster out of Cobb County, out of Kennesaw, here tonight, and had a big night catching the football. His number 6 catches, 86 yards, couple of touchdowns, had a 36-yarder was his long. Now we get to shift gears to the defensive side of the ball, Cordero Stout, and I call it our Southeast Georgia connection on that defensive line. We got 2 Camden kids and this youngster from right down the road from there. and they're awfully good tonight. Cordero, you had good numbers tonight, spent the night in their backfield. Tell us about what you thought about the ball game.
It was just a blessing to get out there after my ankle injury, get out there and play with my brothers. That's all I really wanted to do.
Obviously, there is it seems like a camaraderie out there with you and Devlin and, of course, Gardenhire and Chad. It's 4 guys all together there, isn't it?
Those guys are like my family. They're like my family for real.
Well, then you had a sack tonight. You had 2 tackles for loss tonight. What made it work for you? What were you doing? What made it a good game?
Well, I would count the sack to like this back end staying in coverage, the DNs forcing the quarterback to step up and just open it up for me.
We seem to be getting pressure tonight, whether it was yourself or the other guys. A lot of times it was coverage pressure because there was nobody to go to, and we kept persevering and ended up getting his case there a little bit.
Yeah.
You seem to like that also a little bit there. Tell us about rehabbing from the ankle or trying to get treatment through the week. What did you do and what made it? When did you know that you were going to be good to go tonight?
When I woke up this morning, I just felt like I was ready. So I told Kerry I want to try it today. Just taped it up, and after going through warm-ups, I said, yeah, I'm good to go. So,
I don't know exactly how many snaps you had, but how do you feel after the game?
I still feel good. I feel like I can play another ball game.
Well, you don't have to do that until next Saturday afternoon when we go to Parker Field,
Yes,
and I'm
sir.
sure you and the guys are looking forward to Delta State.
Yes, sir.
No doubt about that. Cordero, anything from the audience for him here? Let's start over here.
Cordero, like we talked about, seemed like you were getting through that defense pretty easily tonight and pretty often. What was working for you tonight? Was there any special move that you were going to that you were relying on tonight? What was working for you?
I was just trusting in what Coach Aldridge coached throughout the whole week, focusing on my keys, doing my job, and it just worked out for me in the end.
Okay. Nick?
Yeah, Cordero, you guys held them to under 200 yards. This is back-to-back games now where you've held them to under 4 yards per play. How do you like how the defense has come off aggressive in these first 2 games?
I like it. It shows that we really want it. This group really wants it bad. So I just like the chemistry I had with the entire defense, not just the D-line. So.
We have anything else for Cordero from anywhere before we let him get out and get away? I think not. Appreciate you being with us here, big guy. Thank you. It was a great ball game tonight for really that whole front 4. We mentioned all of them here a moment ago. Back 7 as well, as we get Coach Dean back to join us for a little bit more talking about the ball game tonight. There were some of these were great coverage plays where initially it looked like he had time, but our secondary wouldn't give him anything.
No, they didn't. They did an outstanding job of staying with some very good receivers, very athletic receivers, and forcing some balls to be thrown high and long, and that gives us an opportunity to make a play. I remember one time Montreal came off the hash and made a great play because we forced them to throw the ball high. And again, a lot of that had to do with the defensive front getting pressure on the quarterback and forcing him to make those high throws.
And that part, you seemed in on them all night long. And again, numbers aren't everything, but you had 490, they had 196. That's pretty hard to top there.
It really is. It's if you would have told me that we would have held them to under 200 yards after seeing them on film, I would say we would have a very good chance of winning that ball game, and I would take it right now. So, again, kudos to our defensive staff and our defensive players. They played an outstanding football game. They tackled much better than they did last week. They were very aggressive running to the football. You could hear a lot of good licks on that field today, and as long as we keep playing with that physical nature, we're going to make some noise defensively.
First couple of times they punted tonight seemed to scare everybody to death. It was going to hit somebody or nothing good was going to happen, and then bam, JJ went. The young man's got a burst, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got some speed, and you saw that tonight. Yeah, we finally got him a punt that he can handle. The first 2 ball games he hadn't had an opportunity to really take one, and tonight he did. But he had great blocking. If you saw it, it opened up just exactly the way that we practiced. And all you have to do is get him into the open field, and he's going to have a good chance to outrun a lot of people, especially when there's only one guy left, and that's a punter.
2 games, 2 wins, 2 region wins, and 2 weeks where you get to play a lot of people. We talked during August about wanting to build depth and get some. You got a lot of snaps for a lot of guys these first 2 football games.
We did, and that's huge because they're gaining experience. They're gaining game time experience. They're gaining experience when the game is not out of hand, and they're playing in that pressure-packed point, and that's going to be good for us as the season goes on. I hope that we can continue to do that and continue to play a lot of guys. It's going to be different. Next week we go on the road and our travel list goes down to 60, so we don't have as many that we're going to be able to take and have on the sideline, so it'll be a little bit different for us. So we got some big decisions that we got to make because there's a lot of guys that are making plays. It's going to be hard to narrow down to that 60 to who we're going to take to Cleveland, Mississippi.
As you've been coaching at the Division II level for quite a while, it's really good though to have the problem we got too many guys for 60. When you can't fill out that 60 is when you seem to have a problem.
That's when you have a lot of problems. And we're fortunate we have a lot of positions that we have a lot of depth. We have some positions that we don't have a lot of depth. And we got to stay healthy. That's the main thing. You got to have a lot of luck and a lot of people staying healthy. And right now, with us playing so many people, it's been good for us to roll those in and keep everybody fresh.
And it seems like the first 2 ball games you've come out about as healthy as you could.
Well, that is true. I don't think we had anybody that went out tonight other than Willie, and Willie will be fine. Like I said, he could have gone back in the game. It was good to see us go through an entire game and not have to bring somebody off or somebody walk off in crutches. And again, credit to Monty Curtis, our strength coach. He's done a great job of preparing our guys for this season. And again, the way that our guys prepared for this season in the summer and then through fall camp, they've put themselves in a position to go out and play very well and stay healthy.
Coach, before we let you go, it's going to be a unique week. The university closed Monday and Tuesday. That's got to have an impact on how you and this staff and these kids prepare for Delta State.
It is, and I told the guys in the locker room that we weren't going to have class on Monday and Tuesday, and it's adversity. We have to overcome adversity. We don't know when we're going to practice, when we're going to be able to practice. All we know is we got to get on a bus on Friday and go to Cleveland, Mississippi and play a very good 2-0 Delta State football team. So our guys are up for the challenge. They're going to go and whatever time it is that we practice and when we are able to practice, they're going to bring their lunch pail. They're going to bring they're going to stamp their time card and they're going to go in and they're going to go to work and they're going to get ready and hopefully to get to a 1-0 in the conference against Delta State.
Well, Coach Dean, thank you for being with us here this evening, and we look forward to it. We hope you follow Wolves football all season long. SMI brings this to you, the postgame report with Coach David Dean and our players, and we look forward to the trip to Delta State. 3 p.m. kickoff, Parker Field in Cleveland next Saturday afternoon, as we've got a pretty good little winning streak against these guys going. We'd love to add one more to it when we take on Delta State next Saturday out on the Delta. 2-0 versus 2-0, and 2 really good Gulf South Conference football teams. Thank you to SMI, Systems and Methods Incorporated. They bring this to you each week. The Stone family are great benefactors and supporters of the University of West Georgia, Wolves Athletics, and Wolves football. And thanks for joining us. And I'm Mitch Gray with head coach David Dean.